Hey, this is Payne from the Papers forums, and I decided to showcase my costume excuse me, that I built last year for Dragon Con. It's from the MMO Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's the armor that the Jedi wear. You can get a set like this from imperialsurplus.com. I did a lot of searching around when it was still early in the game, before the game even released, actually. Searching around a bunch of forums, and led me to him. He does some really good work. It basically comes in just a bunch of molds, and you have to do all the cut, work, and the Bondo work, and the paint, and all the dirt and grime yourself. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. You feel good after you complete a project like that. So, anyways, I'll kind of take you around and look at it. This is the chest piece. Some people think that middle piece is supposed to glow. Well, if you want to get into the Rebel Legion, it doesn't have to glow. I think they're formal. They recommend it, but it's not exactly needed. So this is just the top of the wrist. This is your wrist guard, your gauntlet. So, by the way, this is going to be kind of a long video, so either get some popcorn or move on to the next video. This is your thigh. You can see where I bondoed it. I didn't exactly care about making it smooth, because I think it adds more character to it. It looks more like a weld. And yes, you can see like scratches, and it's been worn, but some of this was intentional, because I like when I see armor that's worn. I mean, if it looks perfect, it just doesn't look like armor. It doesn't look like it's seen battle. This is one of my favorite right here. It's the shin. So if you've never dealt with armor before, it's kind of a pain using the Bondo and all the different mixtures you have to put together just to get it to harden up and stay right. And you try to experiment with other glues to make sure it's securely held together, because that'd be the worst thing in the world if you went to a con or a convention, and it just fall apart. You'd be miserable. It's the other thigh. This is the shoulder guard. I'm actually just using the other one to prop up the chest piece, so you don't really see this one too much, especially if you're wearing a robe, unless you're one of the costumers that likes poking it through the robe. But I don't know, unless you have a cheaper robe, you don't want to get a Twin Roses robe and cut that. It's like $350 worth of or $300 worth of a robe. I think it's called the cod. I don't know. I say pelvic area, pelvic guard. This is a nice, interesting piece. I like wearing this. I think this puts it all together. I guess that's supposed to be some kind of communicator. You can get pouches, which I plan to do. A lot of people that are in the Rebel Legion, you can already see the grooves that are pretty much set up for a pouch. I guess you can get some Velcro and put the Velcro on there, sticky Velcro, and then just buy like a cheap brown pouch and just stick it to these two pieces right here. The only thing I don't really like about this is that if you want to wear a lightsaber, it's kind of hard, because you can see right here, unless you did some really, really fine cutting and sanding, which after so many hours of putting this thing together, my hands were just worn, so I just said whatever. But it's kind of hard. I guess you can figure it out, But anyways, the Velcro pieces, I might as well start going into that. The Velcro pieces, I actually used some, I went to a fabric store and I found some long, stretchy material this elastic bands, and then I took some Velcro and I hand stitched it together, and then I used a button gun. Well, it's called a gun. It's more like a clamp. You know, just one of these. And you punch it through. I did that because, you know, there's going to be more tension on the waist area, so I went ahead and secured that down pretty well. The rest of this, these right here actually come down and Velcro to the thigh and hold it up securely, because that's the most annoying part of it all, is your arm are just swaying every which way, and, you know, I guess I lost a piece. Oh well, that's the one thing you need to do too. If you get Velcro and these elastic bands, make sure you have enough, because you may think you have enough, but you really don't. So, these are my boots. I bought a set of Phantasma. I think that's what they're called, the Walker boots, and I used one of the tutorials on the Rebel Legion on how to weather the boots. It's actually a much simpler. It's actually much simpler than what I thought it was going to be. I just took some black and brown acrylic paint. I mixed it together. You pour a good bit of the brown down and just mix just a little bit of the black. Not much, because if you're an art student, you know, if you're taking color theory, black is an extremely overpowering color. So you don't need to add much just to get that dark effect. You want to take a sponge, and then you just cover the entire boot as much as you can. Let it dry for about 5 minutes. You can use a hair dryer if you're impatient. And then you slip the boot on, and what you do is you take your foot and you crease it forward, and you just take a wet cloth and you wipe off the exposed areas. You do it all the way around, in the back, all the way up top. And just do that for both of the boots, and they come out looking pretty well. The tutorial that I looked at also recommended using this reddish paint. I tried that. I don't know if it was just the paint I had or if the way I applied it didn't come out looking very well. So I wiped that off. Stick with this. It'll look just fine. Looks like you've been in battle. Looks pretty weathered. So I like the result. Looks pretty good. So anyways, this is the paint I used. The caps are kind of wrong, but you use silver. Then you want to use, was that Hosta leaf? Black, and then metallic gold. You also want to use maybe a gray for the cod piece. The silver, as you can see right here. See the difference between the silver and the gray. And for the creases right here, I just used like a black Sharpie. For any of the gold pieces, I just sprayed on a napkin and used a paintbrush and just did this myself. The same way for the middle piece on the chest piece. So anyways, this costume wouldn't be complete without a weapon. And a lot of you guys have already, well, not a lot, I don't know who all has it, but I picked one up. It's the Gladius lightsaber, which is the very first lightsaber that you get on the game in Star Wars The Old Republic as a Jedi. Warrior or Consular. I don't think it matters. I played all of them, but it's been a while. But anyways, I like this lightsaber. You've probably seen a couple of reviews on this one. I had it vented because I'm planning on putting sound in it. I got a crystal focus laying around, but I'm not real sure if I want to pop that into this thing. I mean, crystal focus is kind of expensive and it's kind of the top of the line soundboard, so I don't want to just throw that into anything. But who knows, I might just break down and do it anyway. The only thing that's not screen accurate is, of course, the switch. It's round. In the game, it's this big, bulbous, fat, red one. But I still like it. It's practical. And comes with a blade plug. So, let me see if I can get a blade into the Saber. Having to do all this one-handed, which is a pain, but it's worth it. Let's see here. So it's all aluminum, so it's pretty heavy. It adds more weight to the Saber itself. Okay. All right, you're gonna have to excuse me while I put this blade on. That was easier than I thought. Alright, so anyways, let's go ahead and move some of these pieces out the way. Okay. Alright, so it's decently bright. I mean, it's just running off of, I think it's like 3 AAA batteries. So you don't get too much run time off. Actually, it's probably the worst run time that I've ever experienced in a Saber, but I went out and bought some of the best AAAs you can find, and I mean, it still doesn't last that long. That's the reason why I want to put, a decent soundboard in it, a decent battery pack. But I was trying to get one in there before Dragon Con, which is in about 2 weeks, but unfortunately, you run into a snag here and there and things don't work out the way you want them to. So anyways, so that's pretty much it. That's my costume. I do have a robe on the way. Decided to pick up a cheaper robe. If you go on eBay, you can find one. There's plenty of vendors on there that sell them for like $60, but I definitely don't want to tear into my twin roses. So I've seen different people that wear this costume. Some of them wear lighter brown like Obi-Wan, some of them wear darker brown. I don't think it really matters. I think it's just personal preference. But I'm not going to put this on because I don't really have anybody to hold the camera, but I probably will post pictures wherever I do decide to put this video. So alright, well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for looking.